myself, really long legs and a short torso, the steering wheel's too far away. Now, you could move the seat upright, but I've got 2,000 hours sitting in armored seats getting shaken to death. And so sitting upright just doesn't work for me anymore because I've got no cushion left in those lower discs of my back. So the only solution then is to move the steering wheel closer to you. I don't recommend removing safety equipment, but I'd been looking for an excuse to get rid of the nasty Tupperware steering wheel that came stock on my Mustang and replace it with a nice fuzzy bath mat steering wheel. And then I got a letter from Ford saying that they had accidentally installed a Claymore instead of an airbag in my car, and that they wouldn't have a replacement for about 18 months. Before you attempt this project, there's 3 things you should know. 1, the adapter is not a direct bolt-in like it says in the kit. You're going to have to modify the back side of it to get it to bolt onto the hub. 2, if you want to keep your cruise control, you're going to have to pop the buttons out of the OEM steering wheel, and then you're going to have to make a cut in the face of it so you can get the wiring out of the adapter to the outside of the wheel, and then you can mount the controls however you decide. And then the 3rd point is that it advertises that the resistor that comes in the kit will turn off the airbag light, and that's just not true. There's no combination of placement of that resistor that will get the airbag light to go off. So we're going to do all our measurements from the dash to the rim of the steering wheel. The stock steering wheel is about 6 inches from the dash to the rim of the steering wheel. If you buy a steering wheel like this that's got a 90mm dish to it, the steering wheel combined with the adapter is about 7.5 inches from the dash, which is more comfortable, but we can still do better. So today what we're going to do is we're going to install a 2-inch spacer and move the steering wheel even closer to us. The reason we need to cut a groove into the face of the adapter is to give the wiring some place to get out of the steering wheel. Now this is only if you're going to reattach your cruise controls the way that I did. Once you get something where you think it's deep enough that you can get the wiring out, so that right there is plenty deep enough to get the wiring out, then you got to come to the back side, and you can see I've already ground out quite a bit of it. So it starts out square across here and it comes out to about here and then comes across. I took a Dremel tool and I made a cut this way, and then I made another cut this way, and then dropped out that big chunk of metal. And now I'm basically just cleaning it up with a file and making enough room for that wiring bundle to come through. When you bolt the steering wheel down, it's going to crush the clock spring, and you're not going to be able to turn the wheel without binding. Nobody wants binding in their steering wheel, right? And your turn signals won't self-cancel. As you're installing it, the trick is to get all the wiring through. You'll have to get it through one little connector at a time. Once you've got all the wiring pulled through the wheel, what you can do is take your 24mm bolt, and then you want to bolt everything back down. Make sure you get your blue Loctite on there so that it doesn't come off. That would be embarrassing, have your steering wheel come off. There we go, get it good and tight. Now comes the somewhat trickier part. So you've got the positive lead for your horn right here, and then you've got the negative lead for your horn, which you're going to want to sandwich somewhere in there between the face of the adapter and the steering wheel. All right. Next, we're going to throw on the adapter like so. And you can see how we got all this wiring still coming through, just hanging out in the center. And then our wiring down here for the cruise control, you can see how that runs out the bottom of the wheel. So before we take the car for a test drive, there's 2 things you notice right off the bat. Obviously, the steering wheel is a much more comfortable reach. The other thing, and this was unexpected to me anyways, is that just like a helicopter, a car's got a design eye point. And when you move the seat this much further back and down, it moves your head obviously further back and further down. And the Mustang already's got kind of high sills, and so the mirrors are a lot bigger obstacle than they used to be, and the A-pillars are more of an obstacle. And you definitely have less of a feel for where the corners of the car are in like parking lot situations. the second thing you notice is that the turn signal is is kind of out of reach. And I've gotten used to that on my other cars that have extended steering wheels, but it's always weird that first time. But absolutely, the best part about the steering wheel is the feel. It just feels so nice in your hands compared to the crappy Tupperware steering wheel that came on the car stock. But obviously the reach is much better. My arms are bent now instead of being fully extended, and it is definitely a worthwhile modification. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let us know in the comments and we'll do some more of them. Thanks for watching.